Hello, everyone. This is DJ April Showers of DRT Radio FM and The Truth Radio. And I am excited to have Miss Rachel Ventura. She's a Will County board member from District 9. And I just love her spirit. She's a good mom. She's always doing stuff with her kids. And I really love what she's doing with the nurses. So say hi, everybody. Say hi to everyone, Rachel.
Hi, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get right to the interview. So, Miss Rachel, I would like to know, what is your mission? What do you plan to accomplish?
So I want to make sure that our government is working for everyone, and that's why I got into politics. And mostly, I just want to make sure that the people are being represented and they're heard. I think we're seeing a lot of struggles across the United States, everything from the unrest with Black Lives Matter to some of the good paying jobs, like what the nurses are fighting for. Warehouse Workers for Justice continue to organize for better working conditions, better pay. These are things that I believe our tax dollars should be investing back into our communities through good paying jobs, healthcare, making sure we have a climate, a planet to live on, that the climate crisis isn't going to take away our clean air, clean water, even our soils, farmlands. So, I want to make sure that we're representing the people and the needs that we have. And we can do that locally. We can do that from a national standpoint with our higher up government or local government. But we can also just come together as a community and fight for some of these causes together.
Okay. Why is this also important to you, Miss Rachel?
Well, I've got two little girls who are depending on, making mom to make sure that there's opportunities for them in the future, just like lots of kids out there, families who are struggling, especially with COVID right now. There's a lot, 15% unemployment in our area. There's a fear of people maybe losing their houses this fall and winter. So there's a lot of things that are happening in the world. The continuation of hatred we've seen, racism, sexism, and I want a better world for my kids. So I think a lot of parents out there and just even individuals want a better life for themselves. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I'm tired of waiting for somebody else to make it happen. So I want to be the change I want to see in the world, and I'm going to do the work that's necessary to make it happen.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Would you like to tell us which organizations that you support?
Yeah, so I've been working heavily with Speak Up. Trista Brown is the organizer for that, and we're going to have some more news coming out soon about police reforms and holding our mayor accountable and just making sure that we have good local government here. So she's got a fantastic organization. I think you're going to share some links, so I'll let you share the links of that. I've been working with Warehouse Workers for Justice, like I talked about, that they are fighting to organize different groups who work for the warehouses to make sure that they do have working conditions, that they're not being exploited, that they have good pay. We have a lot of temp agencies in Joliet that don't always pay a living wage or even the minimum wage. So if you are having problems at your workplace, they're a great organization to reach out to. I'm down at the St. Joe's strike line working with our nurses down there. Illinois Nursing Association is their group. They're fighting for safe patient levels. They would like a fair contract. Amelia is not being very fair right now in their contract negotiations. And we're in the middle of a pandemic. So everyone in the community should be sending letters to Amita, in my opinion, writing letters to the editor saying that this is not okay. These nurses put their lives on the line to save our friends and family in the community. We need to support them. What Amita is doing by putting money, profits over people is not okay. And we need to send a message that we need to end that. I think that's the ones I'm working with right now, but I've also worked with Will County Progressives in the past. I have worked with even doing things for like the Spanish Community Center. Right now, we have our census, and so it's important that everybody is counted, everybody. That gives us dollars and representatives for our state of Illinois. So it's important that we make sure we capture those grant dollars and federal funding and other programs that rely on the census numbers. So I've worked with organizations there. And the last organization is SSIP, which is our South Suburban Immigrant Project. And they are out there fighting for, as well, immigration rights, and making sure that you know your rights in the workplace and what your rights are when it comes to law enforcement. So they're a great organization. Please check them out. And yeah, I'm happy to work with different groups like Just Say No to North Point. We continue to fight to protect our farmland and make sure that development that comes here is great for our community through good paying jobs, paying attention to the environment. And I've also worked with Sierra Club through that goal as well. So I think those are some great organizations we have here locally. Sunrise Movement is doing an event on the 25th to bring in both the climate justice we need as well as Black Lives Matter. A lot of times these organizations, corporations can exploit our poor areas, and that has a direct impact on our people of color. And it's time that we say, no, we don't want coal ash in our backyards. No, we don't want diesel particulate matter in our lungs. We want to make sure we have clean water for everybody. And so they're joining the forces here, and I'll have more information to share on that. But July 25th in the evening, put it on your calendar. We'll be doing something right here in Joliet.
Okay, everybody, don't forget July 25th, you said?
Yes.
Okay, please mark your calendars, and I will be sharing more information. Miss Rachel, I want to thank you for coming and joining me today to give me this interview on your stance on some things. And I appreciate you taking out your time, and I appreciate your fight with the nurses. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'll share the GoFundMe link with you. If anyone can't join the nurses on their picket line, you can also donate to their strike fund. This allows them to stay out and fight for better negotiations and to get that good contract, because the nurses are not being paid during this time. So it's important that we try to help them out as well. So I'll be sure to send that so that you can share that with your viewers as well.
Exactly what are the nurses fighting for?
So they are fighting for safe staffing levels. They asked for 60 more nurses to be added to their roster. This would bring AMITA in line with the Illinois recommendations for safe staffing. So it's really pretty unfathomable that AMITA is not doing this. It would cost about $6 million a year to add on those additional nurses with benefits and training and everything like that. They have spent $5 million in the last week alone, bringing in agency temp nurses from other states, paying for their hotel rooms, their food, and they're paying them $65 an hour. Our nurses do not make $65 an hour. So even the longest nurses who have worked there the longest aren't even making that. So it's really very sad that AMITA is spending all of this money for 1 week when they could be spending that money for a whole year. This improves the safety of the patients. It allows for better care. In the negotiations, AMITA did roll back their paid time off. They rolled back some of their insurance benefits. They'd have to pay more, and they put them in a 3-year hiring freeze. So again, these are nurses who put their lives on the line, and they couldn't even get a renewal of their existing contract. AMITA was rolling these things back. It's just not a fair contract. They should at least be offering what they've had in the past. These nurses have been without a contract since May 9th.
Right. And I can understand their frustration, and they do need more staff. So everyone, let's support the nurses. And they do have a GoFundMe page to help with the St. Joe's Nurses of Joliet, Illinois. And is it on change.org?
It's GoFundMe, and I'll send the link over as soon as we're done with this interview.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for keeping us informed. Love you, Rachel. I love your spirit. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.